You're listening to the Passionate Proof podcast, where we bring you empowering episodes on manifestation, mindset, and so much more to discover, find, or fuel your passion. I'm your host, Ellie Hendricks, and my mission is to enable you to be the proof to your passion and make it your paycheck. Welcome, Brooke, to the Passionate Proof podcast. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited.
You're welcome. So I guess the first question I do ask is, as this is the Passionate Proof podcast, what are you passionate about in life or business?
I've always been really passionate about helping people, but kind of had difficulty trying to figure out the best way that I kind of could. So whether that was, obviously we've all got different options available to us. And for me, it was about finding the modality that's actually going to have the most impact. So that's why I'm so passionate now about what I'm actually doing, because it's just, the impact is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Yeah. And give us more of an introduction to yourself. Give us to the introduction of Brooke and what it is that you do.
Amazing. So I'm a transformational mindset coach. What I really specialize in is helping my clients heal their divine masculine and feminine energies in order to heal their relationships with themselves or recreate or call in their ideal relationships.
Amazing. How powerful is that as well? Transformational mindset coach. How did you get into that particular niche, or do you start off with just life coaching as a broad general area?
Yeah, so when I first kind of started, I didn't have many qualifications to my name. I just had basically a huge amount of life experience. So when I first started, I was just a mindset coach. And then now, as I've kind of gone along my journey and got some certifications under my belt, now I actually use the modalities of NLP and hypnosis to get the best results for my clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are those modalities that you would use from NLP, just as an example?
Yeah, so look, there's quite a lot that are in there. So one of my favorite things to use is actually called emotional change technique. The basis of NLP is that it's ever evolving and always improving. And so emotional change technique is the most recently developed technique to get the best results for dealing with basically negative emotions, things like anger, sadness, guilt, and grief. Those things that really tend to kind of show up and hold people back when they don't know how to fully release them. So that would definitely be one of my favorite go-tos to get the biggest results.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so transformational as well, using those different modalities. For people who don't know as well what NLP is, are you able to give a little bit of a snippet as to your understanding?
Yeah, definitely. So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It has been around for a really long time. And of course, as I said before, always growing, ever changing, always evolving. Basically what it is it uses language, so linguistics, to basically reprogram your mind to heal the past and create the future, because your mind is basically like a huge problem solving machine. So when we ask the right questions of our mind, we actually create our realities, because that becomes what your mind is actually seeking to find.
Yes, so true. And to touch back on the life coaching side of things, how did you find out about life coaching? Was it something that you did yourself and invested in a coach, or did you find it through another area of your life?
Yeah, so I kind of had a lot of trauma when I was growing up, and even into my late teens, early 20s as well. So as the most common kind of modality to heal was just traditional therapy. So I did many years of that. But by the end of it, I kind of just was like, I've got all of these problems and that's great, but I don't want the problems. How do I actually get rid of them now that I know what they are? And so that was when I started to seek out a life coach. My therapist actually told me that a life coach tends to future pace more, and that might really help me to get to where I wanted to go. So yeah, I searched all around the world for about 3 months, just looking for a coach that I vibed with. And I finally found one day, just scrolling on Instagram. It was this beautiful reel of this woman just dancing, and I loved her energy. I was like, I have to get me some of that. So I reached out to her, and yeah, she was an NLP coach as well. So that was how I kind of found out that NLP was even a thing that existed. And then I did a 6-week container with her, completely left all of the problems that I had, just left them behind. I found NLP was really tangible to fully release, as opposed to talk therapy, where I kind of just gained a lot of awareness and set some things straight. But yeah, NLP actually allowed me to release it. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I was actually listening to a podcast myself about, like the difference between therapy and life coaching. Was therapy was more dealing with the situation and always referring back to the past, whereas life coaching was more the present and also future pacing as well, and where you want to go in the future. So I think that's really interesting to take into consideration as well, about the difference between the two and how transformational life coaching really is. And it's so amazing that you're in this space as well, because there needs to be more people like us making an impact on the lives of others in this world. So thank you so much for sharing.
yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think there's definitely a time and a place for therapy, but I think it's also really important that people know that there's other options out there. And for some people, it might be really important to actually go back and get into those, things that may have happened. Whereas, for other people, if it's really just about the healing and moving forward with life, a life coach is going to likely have more tools to future pace you and create that.
Yeah, absolutely. And how can people get in touch to work with you in transformation and mindset coaching?
Yeah, so look, all of my clients basically come through Instagram or Facebook. So I am on both. My Instagram handle is just the Brooke Clare, and lots of clients just come straight through the DMs. I love to have a chat, see where you're at, and just kind of go from there. I think I speak for most coaches as well in that area. I do also have, an application process straight through my bio. But yeah, always open, love to have a chat.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I just want to rewind a little bit in terms of how we met as well. So Brooke and I actually met through Instagram, funny. And she is also a part of the Two Minds Project team. And I actually went to their 3-day business boot camp last weekend, which was just absolutely transformational and such an amazing community of people who are all stepping into their higher self and stepping into their space and expanding their coaching business. And Brooke is actually a part of the Two Minds Project team. So are you able to tell us a little bit about how you found them and how you got into their team, and how it's amplified your own coaching business?
Definitely. So this is actually also a huge testament to life coaching in itself. After I got through the 6-week container with the coach I had at the time, she just kind of felt that I needed something just a little bit more to kind of kickstart that next phase of my life. And Two Minds Project had a 1-day event happening on the Gold Coast. So I was basically like, look, I don't have plans. I'll go along. I'll just see what it's about. And as soon as I walked into the room there, I knew like this was my tribe. And I knew that it was going to change my life, because the community that Two Minds Project have actually built are just, I don't have words for it really. I really struggle to kind of put it into words, because it's completely life-changing. So of course I've gone through all of their coaching containers, and the level up that I've experienced just in the 6 weeks, just in the like the 6 months that I've been working with them, like I'm just not even the same person. I don't recognize it. So what they really do is transformational business coaching. But they also just have a really beautiful community called the Coffee and Consciousness community, where they meet up every week and just do free coaching. And yeah, I really recommend, obviously being online for Coffee and Consciousness, it is worldwide. And it's just the best tribe of people. I think it's so important to be around people that are going in the direction that you're going in, because obviously, like, you know, you're going to be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The more exposure you can get to people that are exceeding where you are, or they're already on the way to where you are, then just the better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been a part of this community for only a couple of months, and the knowledge that you learn from the people who are where you want to be, and surrounding yourself with people who are so happy with what they do and the impact that they made on people, is just, it's, I don't know, like it just really fires you up inside. And I love the Coffee and Conscious every Wednesday at 6:15. Just jump on and you get to surround yourself online with amazing people who are going through maybe something similar that you're going through, and you just don't know who to talk to. And this, like, the community that you have is just something that you just cannot get anywhere else. Like, it's absolutely such a beautiful container of people who are in a point of their business where they don't know how to scale, or they don't know how to get more clients, or asking any questions that they have, and such a supportive place for people to come. And yeah, I mean, how did you get to be on the team as well of Two Minds Project? Because it's been such a journey for you in the past probably 6 or so months. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's been probably about 7 months or 8 months now, actually, since I first started with them. But yeah, so for me, like, Two Minds Project have an absolutely enormous mission statement. And they're well on their way, even further than I think they realized, to actually achieving that. So for me, yeah, I totally agree with what you said, that the community that they've built, it's not like anything I've ever experienced before. And they really know that. Like, they're really taking conscious steps to create that really conscious community. So for me, becoming a part of the team was basically just, I really strongly believe in their mission, and I know 100% that the integrity that they show in business and just in their everyday lives as well, like, they not only talk the talk, but they walk the walk 100% every day. So for me, it was about completely agreeing and wanting to be a part of that mission. And by valuing that so highly myself, I actually, yeah, was invited to basically get on board with them and help them grow and become everything that they want to become.
Yes, amazing. And how long have you been on their team for? Is it only quite recently, or after you've sort of
Yeah,
done?
fairly recent. Yeah, so I went through, like I said, most of their coaching containers available to date, or all of them actually now. And yeah, so I think I was invited to the team in about November, December last year. And obviously then since then it's just kind of grown. But yeah, it hasn't been too long, and yet at the same time, because the transformation that you go through when you're on board with them is just second to none, it feels like it's been years. Like, the up level that I've experienced by committing fully to myself and to the work that they do, I just don't recognize the woman that I was when I first walked in the room for that one day event. And it wasn't that long ago, really, in the big scheme of things. So
Yeah, yes, definitely. And it's such a testament to you as well, like actually putting yourself first and showing up and making that change within yourself from going to these things and it's only just, made you become a part of the team, and the opportunities that you have are just endless. And I just want to say I appreciate you actually bringing me into this community, and also acknowledging you as well for how far you've come and just watching you on this journey. So I'm so excited for what's ahead, Brooke, and the impact that you make on these beautiful people.
Thank you so much. That's so kind. And I'm so happy that, I was able to find you through the beautiful power of Instagram. Like, what an incredible world we live in. That just like one quick message, it really does completely change your life. for me, like finding my initial life coach on Instagram, it was one message, and the whole trajectory of my life completely changed. And then it was, just making a bit of time on a Saturday to get towards Two Minds project, and my life has completely changed again. And same thing with you, Ellie, like finding you on Instagram and just like sending you a message to genuinely connect and be like, hey, we're kind of doing similar things. Come along, be a part of this community because they're incredible. And same thing, your life has completely changed as well. And it's only up from here for everyone involved. So.
Yes, definitely. And just a piece of advice that you've always kept within you that you would like to share with everyone, what would that be to share with the audience?
Yeah, cool. Look, I really believe that everyone has their own power. And again, that is why I believe so strongly in NLP and life coaching. I think my biggest piece of advice would be to tap into that higher version of you and make your decisions as that future version of yourself, because they're going to know what to do. It can be easy to kind of get caught up right now in, all of the things that could or might happen, and, all of the fears and limiting beliefs. But if you can just tap into that higher version of you and make the decisions, your growth is going to compound exponentially more than it would if you just make the decisions as to, what's in your comfort zone right now.
Absolutely. That's so powerful. And actually making that decision from your higher self is just so powerful in the transformation that you make and the steps that you take to get to where you want to be. I love it. So good.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for your time today, Brooke. I really appreciate it, and the wisdom and knowledge that you shared with us, and a little on Two Minds project as well. I will put all their links below, but also reaching out to Brooke, I will include your links below in the podcast show notes. That was the Brooke Clark on Instagram. And just want to thank you so much again, and have an amazing day.
Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.